Hi, I'm Vicky, and I wanted to do this video about Hebrew roots. And there's actually a Hebrew roots movement, but this isn't about that. This is about the Hebrew roots of the English language. And this is like what, as Reach Witherspoon would say, evidentiary support for another pretty cool tenet. And I'll explain that to y'all in a few minutes. But first, I'm going to take you on a fun little journey. The, the the reason that I started studying this is because when I was like a little girl, I made up this joke and it said, "How can you fall out of heaven? It's holy." Okay, and I thought that was so funny. But anyway, I continued to think about things like that, and I had a wonderful Latin teacher named Miss Eleanor Hurley at Richmond Academy in Augusta, Georgia, and she was really tremendous. And so I was always wondering why halo and hello and holy seem so similar. So one day I started to look it up, and so I'm about to tell you what I have found, and I'm going to do it as fast as I can because I know that people like faster videos. So if you look up the word so here's some related words. Well, we already talked about halo and holy, which I don't have written on the board. I hope y'all can see this board, but right over here I have some of the different ways that we say hello in different languages. We have hello in English, heil in German, hola in Spanish, and aloha, interestingly, in Hawaiian. Okay, and later on this is going to be evidentiary support for how the Babylonian, how God twisted the languages, because he just confused the languages, so we could actually see similarities between a lot of the languages. Okay, so if you look up the word hello, I'm pretty sure that that first linkage is going to be to the word health. Okay, because I didn't even spell that right. Health, not heath. Okay, so the reason that hello is from the word health is because when you holler or you're doing a greeting to someone, you're in a sense wishing them health. Okay, that's sort of the meaning, the old-fashioned meaning of a greeting. Okay, and that comes, health also is related to the word heal, and all of those words come from the concept of being whole. And so also the word halo is related to the word whole as well, because a circle is sort of emblematic of wholeness. And that was a halo. And then holy, of course, it comes from also the word whole, because when you're whole, you don't lack anything. And God is, as he said, he is the Alpha and Omega. He's the beginning and the end. So he's the whole. He's everything in between, right? There's nothing missing from God. He has everything that he should be. We have things missing. But see, so the next thought is that heal is related to the word salt, because we know Jesus said that the salt is good, right? And he told us to be the salt of the earth. And okay, so in the olden days, they thought that salt had healing properties, and we certainly know that it had preserving properties. You can put salt on a wound, and it will help heal it. But anyway, we get our word salute from the same group of words. We have salute, salud in Spanish, and even our own word for salad, and we have salutatorian. So it's really interesting how all these words are related, and I'm going to tell you how they're related. Okay, so if salt is to be healing and is helpful, we get the word salve from the same word as salt. And we also get save from the word salve, because a salve could possibly save your arm or save your life maybe. But so salute is wishing someone farewell, or farewell, if you think about it, is wishing someone good health and good bounty. So when you salute someone, it's another way of saying hello or goodbye. Okay, which is what a salutatorian does in a graduation, right? And that's why that word is salutatorian. Now, the way salud in Spanish means health. Okay, but they call their salads salud, even though it means health. But in our language, salad means a bowl of green vegetables. Okay, it doesn't mean health. Okay, but it's taken from the word health in the Spanish language, even though to them, that's a bowl of green vegetables. Health is a bowl of green vegetables. So that's interesting. So another thing that's really interesting that I'd like to point out, I mentioned it a while ago, was that the word holler is a homophone. And a holler, as you know, is something, especially if you're Irish, Scottish, or you're from the Appalachian Mountains, you're going to holler across the mountains, "Hello there!" And that's how that word is related. Or, "Hi, matey, have a good day." And a holler is because you have to holler over it because it's going to echo back. And so I just think that's really, really interesting that, so we see that, and this would be basically from the Celtic or Gaelic forms of the, languages, of the Indo-European languages. Okay, so here we have represented a Celtic Gaelic form, and then this would be Anglo-Saxon or, Germanic tribe. This would be Spanish. So, and this will be the English or the Anglo-Saxon. And, we know that according to what we've been taught that those are all Romance languages. But there's another theory here, okay? And this is what I'm about to support. Now, it very well may be that all of those are because they are Romance languages. But I think it's something different, specifically with this word. I mean, they may have been romanticized, but basically our proposal here is that they're from Hebrew. Now, why is it that I say that? Well, because, here's the really fun part, is that ultimately that one of the things we didn't think about was how do we say hello to God? We say hallelujah. Yeah, hallelujah is from that. And I do not have the specific reference in the Bible, but hallelujah is a Hebrew word. And I personally have the theory that the reason this branches off into the S and the H is because originally they were joined in one language, in the Hebrew, to the word shalom, which also means to say hello and goodbye and to wish peace and prosperity and God's blessings on anyone. So just that one study alone really led me to the theory, and I'm going to try to say this really fast, it led me to the theory that our English words support the evidence in the Bible and the creation, of the biblical account of creation. And I was thinking that our words echo what happened in creation. Just like when God put forth a sound, He put forth a sonar, and sound is another creation of God's. And just like the firmament, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth His handiwork, like it says in the Bible. Well, I have the theory that also the words show the testimony of God Himself. And I'll go into more of that theory later. But now I'm going to skip to a different thing. Okay, so I did write the word shalom on the board. Okay, so then later on, that was my first theory, and I did a lot of research in words, and would see the connections and had a lot of support for that. But then, and I've read the Bible, a pretty good bit, not as much as I should, but then I came to Psalm 119. Okay, and in Psalm 119, it is an acrostic, and I don't know if you can see that right there, but it has, in Psalm 119, is an acrostic of all the Hebrew letters. And it gives the Hebrew letter, and then it shows what the Hebrew letter looks like in modern Talmudic script. And then it tells the name of each letter. Now, the name of the first letter in Hebrew is Aleph. And the next letter is Beth. The next letter is Gimel. The next letter is Daleth. Now, does that have a similar sound to you? The next letter is he, and then there's va, and then there's zain, chef, tef, yod, kaf, lamed, mem, nun. Now, I'm going to stop right there. Now, I had already, learned from Latin or whatever that we get our word alphabet from the Latin or else the Greek first two letters of the Greek or the Latin alphabet. I'm not sure. I think it's both really. But Aleph and Bet, or Beta. Okay, so I think Latin or Greek is like alpha, beta, gamma, delta, pi, epsilon, rho, or something like that, right? Okay, and so I couldn't help but notice the similarities. It's like here's Hebrew with Aleph and Beth. It's exactly the same. And, in the third one in Greek or Latin is gamma, so, and here's Gimel in Hebrew. So I couldn't help but notice that. And so the thought came that our language could be derived from Hebrew. Now, I'm not the first person who ever thought of this. So there's documentation for it out there. So you can go look that up, and, I can't give a whole lot of support right now. I've done writings, and I've lost a lot of writing, and but I'm just presenting you with ideas. It's exciting, and you've accepted a lot of things in the past, right? And with no evidentiary support. So, I'm giving this to you because it's a fun word of knowledge, and it can encourage your walk with the Lord. And anyway, so I'm going to show you something else about it. So now the theory has come to that English comes from the Hebrews. Well, what might that tell us about the fact that we might have come from the Hebrews? And what I'm about to tell you is something really fascinating. And so my work, or this discovery, supports this theory. And I didn't come up with this theory, but I've read enough in Isaiah and been confused enough in Isaiah and Jeremiah to start wondering what's going on, because we know that it's written to the group of people who are going to be believers in the last days, right? We know a lot of it is, not all of it. And some of it's written to two groups of people: the people who were present in Israel right before the Assyrian or Babylonian captivities. But it's also written, a lot of it's written to us, and it's really hard to read it because you're like, wait a minute, that's the end time type speaking. Okay, so I'm going to say this really fast. Or maybe I'll just go to part 2, and you'll want to come see part 2 because I'll tell you what that is. Thank you.